I'm Mike Mayfield. I'm running for President of Council for the City of Norwood. I'm a lifelong resident of Norwood. I grew up on South Jefferson with my mother, Grethel, and my sister, Jenny, Perani now. We both attended Norwood City Schools. I went to Sharpsburg, and I graduated in 1987. I'm married to Michelle, and we have 5 children, Heaven, Aaron, Max, Jack, and Sam. And right now, Michelle, Michael, along with Max, Jack, and Sam, currently live on Mount Crest Drive. I have an extensive post-secondary resume. I graduated from Xavier University with a Bachelor of Liberal Arts. I also received a second Bachelor of Arts from Xavier in Education. I went on to receive a graduate degree from the University of Cincinnati in 2014, and most recently, a graduate degree from the University of Concordia at Chicago in leadership. Let's talk about what separates me from others. I'll say trust. Trust matters. No organization, whether it's small business, a Fortune 100 global giant, or a government, can function effectively over a long term unless the people basically believe its leaders can generally be trusted and speak the truth and do the right thing. It's upon me to serve the nearly 20,000 people who call Norwood, Ohio home in a way that builds trust. We're at a point in our governance to which many of the citizens have considerable questions regarding the leadership of our city, and I'm positioned to change that notion in our city so that trust is our cultural norm. Besides trust, I have absolutely no connections to the money. I have not worked for the city. I do not have any retirement expectations. I have no family members who work for the city or who want to work for the city. I will be completely objective when it comes to making some very difficult decisions that lie ahead of us. I see leadership as an opportunity to serve. I have no motive that involves the accumulation and exercise of power to better my individual needs. I am truly concerned for the well-being of our city. By gaining trust, exhibiting integrity, and offering service with dignity, I'm the best candidate for our city. Each of us, as a servant leader, are obliged to work with all of our elected officials, regardless of party. It's okay to sit with the Republican officials and discuss their proposed street plan. There may be parts that are workable to our current situation, but what we need to understand is governance can't take place if we simply dismiss ideas as wrong or unworkable because those ideas come from an opposing political party. The other notion is this idea of forward thought, laying the groundwork for success. We've got a lot of work to do. What I want to do is talk to you about what that might look like and maybe give you an example. So let's talk about our current healthcare situation. We know right now that generally speaking, the city currently pays 100% of its employees health care. According to the auditor report, that's about $2.1 million, or about 17% of the expenses. It's not that this is a punitive idea or that this is a reflection of anyone's service. It simply reflects where we are in terms of our fiscal responsibility and how we need to do things. So how can we manage this cost? Again, as an example, in terms of healthcare, I think it's important that the city begin to look at a consortium group. What a consortium group does, or a health benefit consortia, is a group of cities that buy things in a group as the employers, and they join together to purchase the health benefits for their employees. These consortia can purchase either fully insured or self-funded health benefits for their employees, while most cities in Ohio offer the self-funded plan. Now, health benefit consortia vary in a different way. The members pay for the health benefits service in a pooled consortium. So in other words, it's going to look like the city of Norwood, along with other cities, will pay into a consortium of equal amount, and this will allow the operation of our health care not just as a group of 150 or so employees, but groups of other cities pulled together. What this allows for is protection, and the protection from the exposure of that's unpredictable. Sometimes large claims are spread among higher risk. It allows for public entities to participate in health benefit consortia that those folks who have done that have reported lower cost on monthly premium contributions for both individual families and the cities. It also allows for leverage purchasing power. These can reduce the premium rates. So again, that leverage power is not one city buying healthcare at one time, but a group of cities in a consortium pooling their resources, buying and purchasing their healthcare in that way. Now, the last thing it does is it allows for shared administrative costs. So as opposed to our city covering all of the administrative costs for covering healthcare, the consortium will allow that cost to be shared among the other cities in that consortium group. As it stands right now, there are about 59% of the health plans reported in Ohio, and this is this is a 2017 SERB survey, worked through this consortium group. This is according to PHILA in a Wright State paper in 2016. What that looks like are about 1,082 school districts are in consortium groups as compared to 329 cities who are in a consortium group, as well as 142 county agencies and 132 townships, as well as other various universities and colleges. So how can we learn more about these consortium groups? As a city, we can begin to reach out to them. There are literally dozens of them in Ohio. I've reached out to 2 or 3 and have planned a couple of meetings with them in the next coming weeks. Some examples of consortium groups are the Ohio Public Entity Consortium, the Center for Local Government Benefits Pool, the Greater Cincinnati Insurance Consortium, Butler Health Plan of Southwest Ohio, and on and on. What we need to do is form an exploratory committee for greater understanding. It needs to involve everyone: administration, police, fire, public works, and elected officials. There's a lot to learn about consortiums, more so than I can speak to you now in the time I'm allotted. So I encourage you to take some time, research the idea involving our city as it applies to insurance in a consortium group. Ultimately, this will allow for greater fiscal responsibility, allowing for funds to be used for other priorities, such as capital improvements, such as police cars, fire equipment, public works, parks, and recreation, and dare I say, yes, streets. Look, this is just an example of our democratic ticket, fresh ideas, bold experience, and shared accountability. Sure, this isn't the way we've done this in the past, and yeah, it's a little different. Of course, it causes some anxiety and concern, but changing inherently brings about those feelings, and we understand that. But if we keep doing things the way we're doing, we're going to keep getting the things we keep getting. My opponent will speak of experience, and that experience matters. And she's absolutely correct. That experience has brought us to fiscal emergency. In fact, that experience, to me, is just the same old, same old. Let's get out of trouble, and let's just be good enough. Well, good enough and getting by is no longer the bar of expectation. Our group of candidates, along with me, will raise that bar of expectation. Our group of candidates are not afraid to consider fresh ideas, and we are bold enough to show leadership to follow through with those ideas. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and I thank you for taking the time to listen what I and others have to say. In closing, go vote. Local elections are more immediately impactful to you than any other election. Go vote. And when you vote, I appreciate your consideration and your vote on November 7th. Thank you.